right. New Orleans Saints team preview. Win total 9.5. Yeah, okay. I got it. Last year, 11-5 straight up, 8-8 ATS, 9-7 of the over, +7 in the turnover battle. And it was good for ninth in the league Football Outsiders rankings. They had the #2 offense and the #6 defense. That's where it starts for the big turnaround. The last couple of years, they couldn't stop a nosebleed. They were awesome on defense. And a lot of people thought this would have been the team to go to the Super Bowl because a lot of people thought they would have been a tough matchup and would have knocked off the Eagles in the NFC title game, but they couldn't tackle Diggs, and they lost to the Vikings in the divisional round, beat Carolina in the first round at home, 11-5. And remember, those first two losses at Minnesota on Monday night and then roughed up by Brady at home, and everyone freaked out, which calmed down. Bradford played the game of his life, and he got lit up by Tom Brady. Getting Lattimore was huge. Also becoming with the Kamara and Ingram with the 1-2 punch, running back, throwing the ball to Kamara out of the backfield. Breeze had 23 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, and 4,000 yards. No signs of slowing down. This could be a Super Bowl team in a loaded NFC.
And every move the New Orleans Saints made this offseason was to win the Super Bowl this year. There's no wait till next year. There's no we're building something. The Saints have pushed their chips in. The moves they made were win now mode. And look, when you have a 39-year-old Hall of Famer at quarterback, you know the clock is ticking. And Breeze was brilliant last year, absolutely brilliant. The highest completion percentage of his career. Sean Payton and Drew Brees have a relationship that few coaches and quarterbacks are capable of having. You know, where one guy's in the other guy's mind pretty well in a way that, you know, you just don't see anywhere around the league. And that works for New Orleans. But of course, the success Brees had was predicated by the success of all of those rookies that you talked about. The rookies at running back, the rookies in the secondary, the rookies in the pass rush. And again, this year, you know, there's going to be, not an emphasis on rookie, but when you look at the draft, Marcus Davenport, they traded up, traded future. Hey, we don't want next year's pick. We need to win now. We want a pass rusher. You know, now they got Marcus Davenport on the other side of Cameron Jordan. They paid a steep price, but he's a playmaker. Demario Davis brought in at linebacker, Patrick Robinson in the secondary. These are 3 impact players on defense. That was a defense that made huge strides last year, Pauly. I mean, night and day from where we'd seen the Saints, and that's why they went from mediocrity to a playoff team. The defense added some big pieces that will, I think, continue to help them succeed.
Well, a couple of years ago, this might have been the worst passing defense in NFL history. And now you see what they were able to do and shut down good offenses in #6 with the Football Outsiders rankings. We'll get to the schedule in a second, but they have to deal with the Ingram suspension, so they won't have that 1-2 punch, and that's more pressure. I don't know if Kamara is a power back. They give him 20, 25 carries a game, but we're going to find out. Maybe it's more passing attempts for Drew Brees as they have the Ingram suspension. They have to deal with that, and you have a tough division where 3 teams made the playoffs out of this division, and out of the gates, kind of a gift right now. They get Tampa to start and Cleveland to start, and it looks like no Winston week 1.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's certainly a fair few concerns for New Orleans. Drew Brees' age, we talked about it. But, you know, when we see quarterbacks hit a wall, they hit a wall. Saints have nobody behind Brees. If Brees gets, I mean, he's certainly been healthy his whole career. But if he gets hurt, you know, their season's over. You know, offensive line last year was a banged up unit by the end of the season. I worry about this team's depth. The star power is there. The starters are there. But the depth, you know, there are definitely some issues in that regard for New Orleans. Now, you talk about the NFC South, and yeah, you know, 3 teams lined at 9 wins or higher. Those 3 teams went 32-16 last year. You know, they didn't add a whole lot of draft depth through that draft with Davenport. Traquan Smith might help out of UCF. Rick Leonard out of Florida State give them some depth on the offensive line. But when you look at this schedule, you're going to need depth because those 2 extra games at Minnesota and the LA Rams. Now, you're right. They do have a great chance to get off to a hot start with Tampa and Cleveland and Washington at home and the Giants on the road. They could go 5-0 out of the gate. But all that means is the stretch run for this team, you know, not going to be easy. That being said, win now mode teams, Super Bowl teams, or Super Bowl or bust teams, they're not teams I'm necessarily looking to play under the total, especially with that kind of an opening slate. Saints over 9.5. You can understand why the markets have been excited about that bet. Not crazy excited. We have seen more over money than under on the New Orleans Saints so far this offseason.
Good point by you. Tom Savage is the backup quarterback. Oh, my aching ass. If something happens to Breeze, I guess we could say that about a lot of teams, but oh, my God. Remember, Houston went 1-8 in their last 9 after Watson got hurt. Macho Man is the backup. All right.
Like the show? Help us keep the lights on. Please make sure to comment, share, and subscribe to all the Sportsbook Review videos. Thanks so much. Best of luck. Enjoy the games.